Welcome to Florida History, the land boom and bust. In this Let's Play, we'll walk through how this classroom simulation works and how your students can experience Florida's explosive growth and sudden collapse during the 1920s and 30s. Land Boom and Bust is an interactive role-play game where students step into the roles of workers and business owners during one of Florida's most dramatic economic eras. Each year, they'll make choices about jobs, wages, prices, savings, and investments, learning how big economic changes affect real people in everyday life. To play the game, students are divided into two major roles: workers and business owners. Each role has its own ledger, actions, and decision-making challenges. Business owners hire workers, pay wages, manage expenses, and try to stay profitable. Workers earn wages, cover their personal expenses, apply for jobs, and try to save or survive. Each round represents a new year starting in 1920. Each year begins by reading a page from the Florida Gazette, a fictional newspaper with real historical events. It sets the stage with economic changes, disasters, or new laws. Each Florida Gazette also has a discussion guide that will help students reflect on how the information in the Gazette impacts their own role. You can use all of the included discussion questions, pick and choose your favorites, or even use some of them as short response questions. Students then make economic decisions based on their role and the year's challenges. Let's walk through a sample round. 1926. In 1926, the Gazette warns of trouble ahead. Land prices are dropping, railroads have stopped shipping building supplies, and the Great Miami Hurricane has destroyed hundreds of homes and businesses. You begin the round by reading these articles aloud and asking discussion questions from the included guide. Once students reflect, gameplay begins. The game has three economic phases: the land boom, the land bust, and the Great Depression. 1926 starts the land bust phase of the game. That means that there is a new set of living expenses and a new business guide to help facilitate decisions during this part of the game. Let's look at a business owner. Jordan runs a small construction company. During the land boom, she was making $10,900 each turn. She was able to afford a luxury lifestyle and still save $9,350 in the bank and keep $1,000 in her wallet. This turn, Jordan rolls a 10-sided die to determine her life event. She rolls a 9, so there's an unexpected bank error in her favor, and she gets $15. Now, she is ready to look at her income and expenses for the turn. With the land bust, profits have shrunk and she's only making $6,000 as a baseline this turn. Since Jordan has 2 employees, she earns an extra $450, $250 from the first worker and $200 from the second. She's been paying her employees $1,000 each turn, but she might pay them less if she can't cover all her own expenses. So even though the business guide recommends lowering salaries to $500 per worker, she's going to start by assuming she can continue to pay them $1,000 each. Her business expenses in this part of the game total $3,300. If she keeps the salaries as is, she'd only have $700 left for all of her own personal expenses. For someone used to living a luxury lifestyle, that isn't nearly enough. So she makes the decision to cut salaries to $500. Now she's spent $1,000 total on salaries and $3,300 on business expenses. She has $1,700 left to pay her own expenses. So she starts by looking to see how much all the luxury level living costs, since that's what she's used to. It's only $500 above her current income, so she decides to withdraw the $500 from the bank to cover what she's short. Now, Carlos is our worker. He won a small lottery prize this round, so he's feeling great. However, Carlos works for Jordan's company, and he's just learned that Jordan has cut his salary in half. He has $660 in savings and $30 in his wallet. He's been living a pretty comfortable middle-class lifestyle, but if he keeps it up, his personal expenses are going to exceed his income by $125. That's not sustainable with his savings, so he's going to need to cut back. He chooses to lower his personal expenses and apply for a job at the nearby hotel business that is offering to pay more and has an opening. He's also going to keep the extra money that he has in his wallet. Never know when you might need some. A few other students choose to rely on their savings to maintain their lifestyle, like Jordan did. This triggers the bank run mechanic, since more than 25% of savers have withdrawn some money. You, as the teacher, would announce that there are rumors the bank is unstable and some people are worried. You would make a note of the current funds in the bank. For this playthrough, it's $22,003. If 50% of the bank's funds are removed in the next 2 turns, so about $11,001, the bank collapses and all funds left in the bank are gone. Once all players finish their choices, then the game advances to the next year, 1928, 1930, 1932, all the way through the Great Depression and the early New Deal programs. Florida History Land Boom and Bust is built for 4th grade classrooms and aligned for Florida social studies and financial literacy standards. But more importantly, it gives students a personal, active experience with Florida's history. They won't just learn about economics. They'll live through the decisions, face the challenges, and discover how real people adapt during booms, busts, and depressions. Thanks for watching. Ready to take the risks, weather the crash, and navigate the Great Depression? Let's play.